Today I have the newest film from Neil Jordan, who did Interview with a Vampire. What's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing good. Today's film is going to be Byzantium. Hard to say that one fast. But the film is directed by Neil Jordan, who's famous for, The Crying Game and Interview with the Vampire, of course. He's done a ton of other work, but those are the only two films of his that are familiar with. So this takes us to Byzantium. And the stars of this film are Cerise Ronan and Gemma Arterton. And the story revolves around their two characters. And basically, they're kind of like vampires, but not in the sense you would think. They also refer to them as revenants in the film. But the film starts, and they basically get displaced from the place they're living in. They move to this coastal town, and they kind of, Cerise Ronan's character winds up meeting a boy, and Gemma Arterton, who's the more sort of traditional vampire character, winds up setting up a whorehouse. Cerise Ronan's character, through the course of the story, winds up through flashbacks telling us the origin of the two ladies in the film. And the story is fascinating. It's a great story. That is the thing that kept me. Like I said, the cover art kind of scared me going in. The beginning of the film, I was like, but once they start telling the story through the flashbacks, it really sucked me in. And by the end, I was fully invested. So the story plays key here. But this film is very competent overall. Neil Jordan, great direction. The acting by Cerise Ronan and Gemma Arterton is very good. There's a couple scenes it's a little some of the side characters, Johnny Lee Miller's in this, and he's a little but overall the film is very competent. The cinematography should be noted. Sean Bobbitt is the guy's name. Great looking film. I mean, it's a coastal town, Ireland, I believe. Looks great. But the story plays prime here. It's really just an interesting story, and that makes up for all the weaknesses. And there are a couple of weaknesses. The story just is so methodical, and it's not really like a bad thing, but it's just very one tone all the way through. Great story, though. Like I said, I'm going to keep saying that because it is a great story, but it's very methodical. There is enough in the story. There's enough kills. It's not like a traditional horror vampire story. This is a sort of a little bit like a young adult drama. That's what it felt like. You have the two characters, but it focuses more on Cerise Ronan's character. So I kept comparing it in my head to Twilight, which is, to mention Twilight in this review is really to bring this movie down. But it was a movie I could see young adults and, probably a higher female demographic really liking this film. I really enjoyed the film. I was recommending my wife to watch it. But yeah, there are some faults. Like I said, the pacing is one of them. A couple of scenes with the acting is a little But that's about it. Unless you don't like drama, you're not going to like this film. If you're looking for a hardcore horror film, you're not going to like it. But it's worth watching at least once. It's a well-made film. Competent acting all around. Cerise Ronan's character's pretty good. And another thing too, one thing with her character, they just keep showing her stirring and staring. That was one thing that kind of bugged me. And there's some weird slow motion scenes. So there's a couple little things wrong with it. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. And, for me, that's a recommendation. At least watch it once. I'm not going to say run out and buy it on Blu-ray, all that. It might not be your cup of tea. If you're in the mood for something a little different, a little palate cleanser, a little drama, really well acted, great story, interesting stuff, kind of a little bit of a twist on a vampire story. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised, I can say that. So down below, tell me what your favorite vampire film is, I guess. I don't think I've reviewed too many vampire films. So yeah, tell me what your favorite vampire film down below is. Alright, guys. See ya.